Hello, welcome to the Daily Charge with Ovi Daniels. We've been talking about lessons from the life of David, and today's topic is overcoming criticism. Overcoming criticism. Now, Eliab, David's eldest brother, when he heard that David had come to the battleground and David was speaking his faith and David was bold about it, and David was asking what was going to be given to the person that defeats Goliath, and David was asking, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? And when he heard that, he was angry. And not just so angry, he was jealous. Don't forget that Eliab happened to be the person that when the prophet Samuel went to anoint David as king in his father's house, Eliab was the first person that the father brought out before the prophet. And when the prophet saw him, because he was huge, he was big and everything, the prophet thought that Eliab was the one that God had chosen. And Eliab said, surely this is the Lord's anointed. And God had to correct him that no, this is not the Lord's anointed. And when the other brothers passed, 7 of them passed before the prophet said God had not chosen any one of them. And the prophet asked the father if there was anyone remaining, and the father told them that David was in the field taking care of animals, and the prophet called for David, and the prophet told them that they were not going to sit down until David came. Now imagine the way Eliab would have felt, that why is it my younger brother, that the last born for that matter, why is it the one that is being chosen, and all of us will have to wait and stand for him? So imagine the kind of beef and jealousy Eliab would have had towards David before that time. Now David now came to battle again, and while the entire army of Israel, including his brothers, they were afraid, they were scared of Goliath. For over 40 days and 40 nights, Goliath had been screaming, cursing them. Nobody could speak. And yet David, this same guy, being a teenager for that matter, came to the battleground, heard Goliath screaming and insulting people, and David was angry, and David spoke forth and said, who is this uncircumcised Philistine that should defy the Lord's army? What will be given to the guy that defeats this thing? You would think that his brother should be happy. But of course, with what had happened, you would know that the brother wasn't happy and he was jealous. And the brother began to criticize him. And look at the question the brother asked him. The brother said, what have you come here to do? Who did you leave those few sheep in the wilderness for? More like, go and attend to the sheep. That's your job. Who did you leave them for? And I said, I know your pride and the naughtiness of your heart. For you just only come down here to see the battle. As it was like, who saying you come here? You be busybody. Just come here, walk on and see what is happening. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 28. But David was standing up for the army, was standing up for God, and he was operating in faith, and he was doing nothing but good. And while doing this thing, you expect that his brother should admire him and brother say, wow, what a courageous guy and everything. Yet, rather than being praised, his elder brother began to criticize him and began to ask him, why did you come here? It began to make him feel like he was irresponsible. If I told him he was irresponsible. So I want to say this to you today, that if you're going to do great things, if you're going to be a giant killer, you need to recognize that criticism will come your way. And the painful thing is that sometimes it will come from those closest to you. Those that are meant to support you, those that are meant to encourage you. Sometimes it will come from your family members and your friends. If you recognize your covenant right and privileges, and you start speaking forth your faith, you will be criticized. If you decide that you are not just going to sit down and bow down to sickness, to disease, to poverty, to oppression, to fear the way every other person does, let me let you know that people will turn on you. People will criticize you. Rather than praise your faith, they will criticize you. They will say, now only you know, now you get faith pass. Now you be Daddy Gio, now you be this and that. Understand that they will criticize you and they will mock you. It happens every time. So brace up and don't let it stop you. It didn't stop David. Don't let it stop you. Keep doing what you believe God has called you to do. Keep being bold to speak your faith. Keep being bold to go the path, follow the path that God has called you. Don't let criticism stop you, because it's just part of life. It comes with it. If it didn't stop David, then don't let it stop you. If this has been a blessing to you, feel free to hit the like button. Drop your comment, appreciate, ask your questions, add your own contribution. Do what you need to do, but don't just watch this video and pass by. If you're not following and you're not subscribing, please feel free to do so and share this video for other people to watch and be blessed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.